FCAT scores recalculated by the Florida State Department, Florida gains access to the Department of Homeland Security database, and an update on the 2 missing Iowa cousins. All this and more coming up on FAMU News 20 at 6.
From the highest of 7 hills in Florida's capital city, covering every corner of the Big Bend, this is the award-winning News 20 at 5, live.
Good evening, I'm Tanya Glover. Thank you for joining us for today's news. In our top story, Larry Robinson was named interim president by the Board of Trustees. Former President Ammons waived his 90-day notice provision in exchange for bonuses based on his salary. In other state news, Florida gains access to the Department of Homeland Security database. John Zarella has more.
And I never had any trouble. I have voted here for the last almost 15 years.
After that, Florida officials focused their attention on getting a more reliable Homeland Security database. It lists those legally here on green cards and visas, but not eligible to vote. Granting Florida access has widespread implications. At least 4 other states, potentially pivotal to the presidential election, Nevada, Colorado, Michigan, and North Carolina, have been watching Florida carefully, something Florida's governor noted.
Hopefully it creates a path for other states that have the same concern.
Mitch Caesar, chairman of the Broward County Democratic Party, thinks the whole thing smells.
What I find disingenuous is the fact that all these Republican governors from all over the country who live thousands of miles apart seem to have come up with a situation where they've come up with the same idea of a voter purge.
But when a newly released Mason-Dixon poll asked, quote, "Do you support or oppose the plan being implemented by Governor Scott and state elections officials to purge the Florida voter rolls of persons who are non-U.S. citizens?" 54% of registered voters polled said they support the plan. The Florida Secretary of State's office says it will begin using the database for cross-checks just as soon as the staff is trained. John Zarella, CNN, Miami.
Florida State Department recalculated numerous FCAT scores. 4 Brevard schools moved from a B-ranked school to an A-ranked school, a massive readjustment of school grades by the Florida Department of Education. Officials found errors in calculating learning gain. 40 of the 67 school district grades were raised. The errors raised questions about the state system for evaluating students. City electric and natural gas rates decreased by 27% since January 2009. After being named the #1 public utility company in America, Tallahassee received a AA rating from one of the 3 major bond rating agencies, Standard & Poor. Residential utility rates remain below the statewide average, and commercial rates are among the lowest in the state. The agency noted the strong performance in financial operation was a key indicator. Since May 2010, Gain Street has been adding wider roads, new curb, and sidewalk. Phase 2 construction began in January. Initially, Phase 2 of Gain Street was supposed to start right after Phase 1. However, the city had a bid overestimate due to complicated contract bidding, which delayed Phase 2 construction. As Phase 2 construction continues, business owners on Gain Street eagerly anticipate the finish. In other business news, Keyshawn Smith has an update on local home sales.
Home sales reached their highest peak in December 2011. Economists say home prices are lower, construction has picked up, and mortgage rates have declined. Tim Shepard of Regions Bank says this is a good time to buy.
We've never probably seen values as low as they are right now within the last 10 or 15 years in Tallahassee. The other thing is that we're in a really low interest rate environment. Market conditions have pushed interest rates to historic lows.
Even though these are historic lows for market conditions, people that are looking to upgrade can get into bigger homes in a better part of town. More homeowners in Tallahassee have been able to own a set of house keys, though the percent of first-time home buyers fell in the last few months. Although the percentage of first-time home buyers declined, Derek Kravitz of the Associated Press says economic conditions that support home sales are getting better. Homeowner Adam Crandall is looking to expand.
we decided we wanted to get someplace with more acreage, and we love this neighborhood. It's got great school zones.
Even though sales have slumped because of foreclosures, now it seems the real estate market is heading towards a sustained recovery. For News 20 at 5, this is Keyshawn Smith.
Thank you for the information, Keyshawn. Ariel Shing, 16-year-old Olympian, will represent the U.S. in table tennis at London. Shing is a hard-working student athlete. She wishes to represent USA well in London.
When I made the Olympic team, I just felt so lucky. Going to the Olympics is about representing your country. It's about the flag that, you're holding up.
Coming up, an update on the missing Iowa cousins. Poverty rates reached the highest since the 60s, and presidential candidates prepare for election. All that and more on FAMU TV News 20.
Every day, our brave troops and their families stand up for us.
For years, we've asked so much of so few.
Now we have a chance to serve these heroes.
To give time, offer comfort, or lend a hand.
To ease the burden on a military family.
Let's honor their service by volunteering ours.
Florida A&M University students have explored international cultures while discovering what they can become.
From Hong Kong working as a camp counselor to the Dominican Republic for the Study Abroad program, I discovered my passion for international studies. As Miss FAMU, the university has prepared me to represent my institution in the global market.
Discover what you can become.
Descubrir lo que puede llegar a ser.
Yeah, what she said. For more information about our Study Abroad program, visit discoverfamu.com.
Remember when imagination could take us anywhere? It still can. Destination Imagination is an extraordinary after-school activity that lets any child experience creativity, teamwork, and problem-solving. Parents and teachers, start a Destination Imagination team and let your child begin the journey of a lifetime.
Florida A&M University students continue to define themselves as role models, pace setters, and young professionals on the global scale.
Choosing FAMU has helped me to discover the world. I've had the opportunity to help America's deployed military families by educating their children in Spain, Italy, Germany, Switzerland, France, Austria.
So how many stamps do you have in your passport?
A lot.
For more information about Camp Adventure and our other programs, visit discoverfamu.com.
The search for the two Iowa cousins continue. Tension grows between family members of the cousins and law enforcement over the cause of the death. Family members believe the girls were abducted, while authorities think it's a case of missing person. Authorities are investigating family members as potential suspects. The family wants law enforcement to investigate child abduction. We will update you with any further developments. James Holmes, the man accused of murdering 12 people at a Colorado movie theater, appeared in public for the first time since allegedly injuring 58 people. Holmes is expected to enter a plea and be charged in court next week. The drought in the Midwest is destroying crops and hurting farmers' pockets. Ed Payne has more.
Farmers are worried about how much their harvest will be damaged and how big of a hit their livelihoods may take this year. A USDA expert says a smaller corn harvest could drive up the cost of animal feed made from corn. That would lead to higher meat and dairy prices for consumers. Cornmeal, corn syrup, and ethanol prices would also rise. In Arkansas, the co-owner of a locally grown produce store hopes to maintain his prices.
If we get more rain, it'll stay the same, but if it keeps on drying out, it might get a little more expensive.
A customer from Texas says fresh vegetables are a priority for her. So if prices do rise, she'll make adjustments to her budget.
It's something that you have to have in life, so you just substitute other things in life.
In Indiana, state police are stepping up efforts to help enforce the statewide burn ban issued in light of the drought. They want to make sure cigarettes do not spark fires. In fact, anyone who tosses a lit cigarette from a moving car could be fined up to $10,000. And an Indianapolis homeowner found a creative way to keep his lawn looking nice despite a watering ban. He painted it green with paint made specifically for grass. The paint job is expected to last between 3 and 6 months. I'm Ed Payne reporting.
America is on course for the worst poverty level since the 1960s. According to the economic experts, the 2011 census figures will be released just in time for November elections. The projected poverty rate could raise from 15% to almost 16%, the highest poverty rate since 1965. Suburbs are seeing increases in poverty, even in battleground states like Colorado, Florida, and Nevada. Globalization, automation, outsourcing, and immigration pushed the middle-class household income down. With November elections around the corner, both presidential boxers anxiously await the bell. Melissa Rainey has more.
Mitt Romney's senior advisor is defending the GOP presumptive nominee's business credentials.
Is it your position that Mitt Romney was still technically the CEO, the sole owner, and the chief shareholder of Bain, but he had nothing to do with any day-to-day decisions at Bain after he left for the Olympics? Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. He was not involved in the management, was not involved in the day-to-day decisions, and wouldn't have had time.
At issue, Romney's departure date from Bain Capital. The private equity firm filed a document to the SEC listing Romney as the CEO as late as 2001. Romney says he left Bain in 1999. Democrats are attacking Romney's character.
No one is suggesting that Mitt Romney isn't following the law. That's not what this discussion is about. This discussion is about transparency and showing the American people what your perspective is and what judgments that you're going to make as president.
But Republicans are firing back. They say President Obama shouldn't focus on Bain Capital. Instead, he should focus on a better plan to boost the economy.
Look at the record that Barack Obama has to run on. It's the worst economic recovery on record, the highest deficits and biggest government since World War II, the worst jobs quarter in 2 years, and the highest poverty rates in a generation.
Over the weekend, negative ads targeting Romney and Obama's campaigns hit the airwaves, and Mitt Romney gave an interview to one of the president's biggest supporters, Oprah Winfrey. I'm Melissa Rainey reporting.
The 2012 London Olympic opening ceremony is Friday. Athletes from around the world arrive in London to compete for gold. 125,000 passengers landed in London, making it the busiest day in Heathrow Airport history. Will and Jada visit Capitol Hill and share their concern about human trafficking. Pinkett advocates her Don't Sell Bodies organization.
Every day, our brave troops and their families stand up for us.
For years, we've asked so much of so few.
Now we have a chance to serve these heroes.
To give time, offer comfort, or lend a hand.
To ease the burden on a military family.
Let's honor their service by volunteering ours.
Florida A&M University students continue to define themselves as role models, pace setters, and young professionals on the global scale.
Choosing FAMU has helped me to discover the world. I've had the opportunity to help America's deployed military families by educating their children in Spain, Italy, Germany, Switzerland, France, Austria.
So how many stamps do you have in your passport?
A lot.
For more information about Camp Adventure and our other programs, visit discoverfamu.com.
Remember when imagination could take us anywhere? It still can. Destination Imagination is an extraordinary after-school activity that lets any child experience creativity, teamwork, and problem-solving. Parents and teachers, start a Destination Imagination team and let your child begin the journey of a lifetime.
Florida A&M University students have explored international cultures while discovering what they can become.
From Hong Kong working as a camp counselor to the Dominican Republic for the Study Abroad program, I discovered my passion for international studies. As Miss FAMU, the university has prepared me to represent my institution in the global market.
Discover what you can become.
Descubrir lo que puede llegar a ser.
Yeah, what she said. For more information about our Study Abroad program, visit discoverfamu.com.
Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith spoke to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee on Human Trafficking and Slavery. There is an estimated 27 million slaves worldwide, the most slaves in history. It was our pleasure to bring you the latest breaking news. For more news, check us out online at FAMUTVnews.com or on Twitter at News20 at 5. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your evening.